Hi there, you're watching Large Family Mama, and if you're new to this channel, I'm Alexandra and I am pregnant with my 9th baby, and I'm 44 years old, so quite old to be having a baby naturally. Tomorrow I'll be 36 weeks pregnant, so still in the 35th week at the moment. I wanted to have an unassisted pregnancy and birth because I didn't want the stress of going to hospitals and dealing with all the COVID stuff and etc. I mean, there's a lot of reasons, but I wanted to have an unassisted pregnancy and everything. But then my husband needed me to get a MAT B1 form from the midwife, just so that he could get his paid paternity leave when I have the baby. So I thought, well, I'll just go and see the midwife once and go and get this MAT B1 form, and that will be it, and then I'll carry on with an unassisted pregnancy and birth. But when I saw the midwife, she listened to the baby's heartbeat and she said the heartbeat was raised, and wanted me to go and have a scan. And I kind of did want to have a scan because I just wanted to check that the placenta was not in the way of when I was going to give birth. So yeah, I agreed to go and have the scan, and then at the scan they discovered that the baby had swollen kidneys. One of the kidneys was significantly more swollen than the other one. So then, I was very upset about that. We had to arrange another scan with a specialist at another hospital, just to see how bad the kidney problem was. And the consultant I saw there didn't think that it was very severe, that I didn't need to go back to that hospital, but I would need more scans locally to check that the baby's kidneys weren't swelling more. So then I think that's where I got to with my last update video. So since then, I saw the midwife again. My blood pressure's fine, my iron levels are fine, all that stuff was cleared. And then I had to have another scan 2 weeks after the specialist one, just to check the kidneys weren't swelling anymore. And they were not. One of the kidneys is double the size it should be, and the other one is pretty normal. So it's good that the condition isn't getting worse, but I had hoped that it would kind of resolve itself a bit more, because sometimes when you have these problems in pregnancy, the kidneys can resolve themselves before you even give birth, but sadly not yet for my baby. One of the appointments I have had since I last spoke to you is a midwife appointment where she came round to my house to do a home assessment because I want to have a home birth. And yeah, that went really, really well. She was perfectly happy about me having a home birth and was very supportive of that, so that was brilliant. So it's just the consultant that's the problem at the moment. My midwife really wanted me to go and see the consultant, but I really didn't want to go to the hospital. So anyway, they arranged for me to have a phone appointment with the consultant. The consultant was not keen on me having a home birth because, they say that I'm very high risk because of how many babies I've had. They say that could lead to a heavy bleed, and because of my age, So I just stood my ground and just said, well, I'm going to have a home birth. But then she was saying that they would want to induce me, which of course I knew they're going to say that. They have got my dates wrong. This always happens because I went for the scan late. They are saying that my dates are wrong, but I know they're not. So they think I'm 2 weeks ahead. They think that I am currently 38 weeks, which I'm not. I'm not even 36 until tomorrow. So they want to induce me in a week's time. But no, that won't be happening. I'll just keep on politely declining. Yeah, I did explain to the consultant. I said, you know that when you have a late scan, that it's the dating on that is not accurate. However, I do know that my dates are accurate, so please go by my dates. And she was reasonable, quite reasonable, when she was like, well, okay, we might take that into consideration. You know, I just find it hilarious the way that I'm spoken to when this is my body and my pregnancy and my baby, and yet they act like they are managing it, you know. But yes, the one thing that did alarm me a bit was that she said on the last scan that I had, the baby's estimated fetal weight was on the 14th percentile, which is obviously very low. If it's under 10% at this stage of pregnancy, then they want to induce you like pretty much straight away. So I was confused. I was very confused by that. And if anyone can shed any light on how this works, then please do let me know. But I was confused because one minute they're saying, oh, you're 2 weeks ahead, your baby's big for what you're saying, it's 2 weeks bigger than what you're saying. And then on the other hand, they're saying, oh, but its estimated fetal weight is 14 on the 14th percentile. Well, I don't know how that works. I just don't understand how that works. But I have another scan booked for Friday this week, and I will be asking then, because I didn't think at the time when I was talking to the consultant. Yeah, when I go for that scan, I will ask them to please clarify how do they get to that conclusion? I don't understand it at all. I mean, is it that they're going by, you know, like the size of the head and then dating it from that, but then they're using other measurements to determine the weight of the baby? I don't know. I just do not get it. So anyway, lots of scans, even though I never wanted any, but you know, these things happen. Then on Friday night, I started bleeding. Thought, oh my, I was so angry. That is what I felt, just really angry. Like, why on earth is everything going wrong? I mean, it's not. Everything is not going wrong, but to me it just felt like there's just one thing after another after another. I have appointments every single week, and yeah, so it was just a few, like minimal, tiny bit of bleeding. I thought, well, I'll just, because it was quite late at night, I thought, well, I'll just wait until tomorrow and see if it stops. If it stops, then I'll just ignore it. If not, then I'll have to do something about it. But yeah, it carried on until the Saturday morning, and then it stopped. So I thought, well, I'll just leave it, you know. But then on Sunday night, I had a really, really horrible pain on my left side for hours, kept me awake for hours. And I didn't have a clue what that could be. And the baby was not moving, no matter how much I, you know, wiggled about and tried to get the baby to move. The baby wasn't moving. So on Sunday morning, I straight away was on the phone just saying, you know, can you check the baby? It's not moving. I've had a bleed. Blah, blah, blah. So they said, yeah, come straight in. And they checked, and the baby didn't move for quite a while when they put the things on. I can't remember what they're called. So I'm not sure why the baby had that still time, but obviously needed a rest. And I wouldn't have thought anything of it if I hadn't have had that bleed as well. So then they wanted the doctor to do a like an internal examination to see if they could see the cause of the bleeding or anything, but they couldn't see anything. They didn't have a clue. So I didn't get any answers as to why I bled. I didn't get any answers as to what the pain could have been. Nothing really. So it was kind of a waste of time going there, but at the same time, at least I was reassured that the baby was fine, and you know, his heart rate was good. It was getting good oxygen levels and all of that. So I guess that was kind of worth it. And then they wanted me to go in the following day to be monitored again, just to see. They said to me, if the baby's got reduced movements again, we'll want to induce you straight away. So I thought, great, brilliant. But then the baby, after I got home from that first monitoring, the baby was moving about fine, the pain had gone, the bleeding had stopped. So on the Monday morning I phoned up and cancelled and said I couldn't make it to be monitored because I couldn't get childcare. Which is true, you know, it's very awkward for me to keep going off to these hospital appointments when I don't have any childcare. So that was cancelled. Then I was supposed to have a midwife appointment tomorrow, and I cancelled that as well because I just thought there's just too many appointments going on here and there's no need for it. I've got a scan booked for Friday anyway, and next week I have another midwife appointment booked for that Wednesday. So, you know, how many appointments do you need? And then I also had an appointment to see the consultant. She actually wanted to meet me face to face, she said, rather than on the phone. But I had to cancel that appointment as well because I have to take one of my daughters to hospital that day because she's got an appointment. She's got a pre-op appointment because she's having an operation in a couple of weeks. So it's all going on here, all going on. It's a very stressful time, I would say, very stressful. Samantha has been waiting to have this operation on her feet for years, and finally she gets an appointment for the operation, and it is the day of her operation is the day before I'm 39 weeks. So I'm hoping that it doesn't clash with me going into labour, because I really want to be there for Samantha. She's obviously very nervous about it. It's a major operation. She's got to have both her feet reconstructed. She's got to have bones broken. She's got to have some bone taken out of her leg to put into her feet. She's got to have metal plates put in and all sorts. So it's like a big, major thing. She's going to be in a wheelchair for 3 months. Then she'll have to learn to walk with crutches, and you know, it's a great big long massive procedure. And you know, we're all quite nervous about it and all of that, but yeah, so that's when I'm like 39 weeks pregnant and Samantha has to stay in hospital for 5 days, and I wanted to be there with her for those 5 days, but that brings me up to about 40 weeks by my dates. By the hospital dates I'll be about 42 weeks. So you can imagine the level of stress that I'm currently going through. Yes, very completely different to how I imagined this pregnancy would go. But anyway, other than all the hospital palaver and all the appointments and all of that and that little bleed, everything else has been going well. I've been feeling really well, healthy. I have had a little bit of lower backache because, you know, walking around with this massive bump for goodness knows how many months now, you know, it's taken a toll on my back a little bit because I have scoliosis anyway. So, but other than that, I have felt good, really good. I do have a little bit of pregnancy insomnia, so I've been reading a lot. I try not to fight the insomnia. I just think, well, I'll just use that time to read. And I've got, right next to me actually, I've got a couple of books that I just finished this one. It's called A Gingerbread House, and that was a brilliant book. I gave that 5 stars on Goodreads. I thought that was excellent. I like a sort of murder mystery type book. And then I started reading this book. I'm about just over halfway now. And it's called The Beauty of Impossible Things. And that I'm just not enjoying. But I, at the same time, want to finish it because I hate starting a book and not finishing it. So it gets really good ratings on Goodreads, but for some reason I just can't get into it. And I don't know if that's just because I just finished a really good book. But anyway, that's nothing to do with pregnancy. That's just what I've been doing with my insomnia, reading. Yeah, I have not put on any weight for at least a couple of months now. And so in total I've put on about 21 pounds. And yeah, my bump hasn't grown, but the baby has got bigger, but they're saying that, you know, that the weight's not good. I don't know about that, but we'll find out about that on Friday. I don't think there's anything else to update you on at the moment, but on my next video I will be doing a gender reveal and sharing some items I bought, a little baby haul, so you can have a look at a few things that I've got for the baby. So I'll just quickly show you my bump. So there's my bump. So I got quite big early on and it's just stayed the same for months now. Rather big. So yeah, that's it. A bit of a strange update. And I'm just really looking forward to having this baby now. I cannot wait. Yeah, not long to go at all. But hopefully it doesn't clash with Samantha's operation. Anyway, I would love it if you would like this video, if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you haven't already, and look out for the next video, the gender reveal and baby haul. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Bye.